The USS Enterprise D appeared in each of the 7 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation, when it rose to the top as the greatest ship to carry the illustrious name. The USS Enterprise D, which made its debut in Encounter at Farpoint, the premiere episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, served as the United Federation of Planets flagship in the middle of the 24th century. The Galaxy-class ship represented a significant advance in Starfleet's technological capabilities and was the crowning achievement of the fleet. By the time of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Galaxy-class ships would be more prevalent in Starfleet, but for a while, the Enterprise D stood out. Throughout the USS Enterprise D's existence, Captain Jean-Luc Picard oversaw operations. During this time, he encountered innumerable new species and repeatedly saved all of mankind. In Star Trek Generations, the Enterprise D was destroyed when it suffered catastrophic damage during a skirmish with the Klingon Duras sisters, destroying the star drive through a warp core breach and forcing the saucer section to make an emergency crash landing on Viridian 3. The ship's active duty ended once the saucer piece was retrieved. The USS Enterprise D is the most illustrious and successful ship to hold the name Enterprise. Despite having a brief operational history, the USS Enterprise D was primarily an exploration ship, probing uncharted space, in an effort to understand extraterrestrial phenomena and encounter new species on other worlds. The USS Enterprise D, which encountered hundreds of novel species throughout its 7 years of service, was the most accomplished Starfleet starship in that regard. The Enterprise D itself always seemed more like an open hand of friendship than a fist of violence, and Captain Picard demonstrated his skill as a diplomatic agent. Even while the USS Enterprise D came across a number of friendly alien species, the introduction of 2 extremely evil races is what really defines the ship. The Q Continuum's omnipotent member Q, who over time developed a special interest in Picard and mankind, was first encountered by Picard and his crew. The Enterprise D would also have its fatal first encounter with the merciless artificial. Starfleet ships had a certain aesthetic before Star Trek The Next Generation. In Star Trek the original series, every Federation ship that was displayed on screen was a Constitution-class ship, just like the first USS Enterprise. There were a few updated designs by the time of the 2's films, such as the USS Excelsior and the USS Reliant, although these were still somewhat different interpretations of the remodeled USS Enterprise from the movie series. The USS Enterprise D was a radical departure from previous designs. It has an elongated oval saucer instead of the more conventional round saucer, and it is far larger than the original USS Enterprise. The Enterprise D is breathtakingly beautiful from practically every perspective, but it takes some getting used to after so many years of Constitution-class riffs. The USS Enterprise from Star Trek the original series was renowned for its vibrant, if somewhat sparse, interior, but more recent iterations of the franchise, such as the Kelvin Timeline films and Star Trek Discovery, have favored gunmetal gray and dynamic lighting, creating bridge sets that occasionally resemble dance raves, rather than military facilities. Nearly all of stuff was avoided by the USS Enterprise D. Large, comfortable chairs and beautiful wood paneling can be found throughout the USS Enterprise D's interior, which is primarily beige and brown. One Star Trek interior ship design genuinely resembles a place where people would want to live and work, rather than a dimly lighted cellar in outer space. In order to ensure that both the ship's crew and any guests who might feel uncomfortable on such a hugely powerful spacecraft felt at ease, Star Trek The Next Generation takes a particular interest in the mental health of its. The 2-part episode, The Best of Both Worlds, featured perhaps Star Trek The Next Generation's most significant moment. The Cybernetic Collective, which was first encountered in the TNG Season 2 episode, Q Who, ultimately makes its way to Federation space, with the aim of absorbing Earth. Captain Picard was eventually captured by the Borg and transformed into their spokesperson Locutus as a form of intimidation and to take advantage of his understanding of Starfleet tactics. At the Battle of Wolf 359, the Borg obliterated a fleet of 40 Federation ships, with Picard's grudging assistance as it headed for Earth. With Lieutenant Commander Data using Captain Picard as a conduit, the Borg's advance against Earth is halted after Commander William Riker organizes a dramatic rescue of Picard. Although it wouldn't be the last time the Federation fought the Borg, it is undoubtedly the most dangerous threat Starfleet has ever encountered. Although Jean-Luc Picard has praised his flimsy USS Stargazer as his first command, and later the more powerful USS Enterprise E, the USS Enterprise D is the vessel that most represents him as a man and an officer. As the leader of the renowned Federation flagship, Picard established his reputation by significantly advancing the Federation's ideals and compassion. Picard's closest ties with Commander Riker and Dr. Beverly Crusher are only two examples of the significant connections he made while serving on the Enterprise D. It's not unexpected that in Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 1 The Next Generation, Picard notes that the ship was his favorite, while gazing fondly at a painting of the USS Enterprise D that previously hung in his ready room. Picard's reunion with his command team from the USS Enterprise D later that season is hinted at by this charming moment. The USS Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation is one of the most famous ships in Starfleet history, and, beyond all odds, became the ship most people associate with the term Enterprise. I hope the video was entertaining. Flip the channel's bell icon to the subscribe position to see more of them. Leave a like as well to support the channel. Thank you for your consideration and time. See you next time.